The 2001 F-150 was one of the worst vehicles we ever tested. The space for the occupant was severely constrained. This was one of the most popular vehicles in America. I'm Joe Dolan. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. I've been here for 33 years, started work in 1992 when the Vehicle Research Center was just being built. The moderate overlap crash that we introduced in 1995 was a paradigm shift for the auto industry in the US. Up to that point, the only requirement they had for crash testing was set by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which is to run the vehicle into a flat wall to evaluate how well the seat belts and then, if fitted, the airbags protects the occupants. When we look at real-world crashes, what we find is that the vast majority of crashes that seriously injure or kill people aren't happening in crashes that look like they hit a wall. Rather, they look like crashes where only a half or a portion of the front end is engaging with whatever it's striking, a bridge abutment, an oncoming vehicle. And those crashes represent a unique challenge because all of the energy has to be concentrated into just a smaller portion of the front end. In our very first test program, we evaluated 14 mid-sized cars. There were a few vehicles that did pretty well. One did very well. And then there were quite a few that did really poor. And what that showed us was there's all this room for the other automakers to catch up. The 2001 F-150 extended cab version was one of the worst vehicles we ever tested. And it was quite shocking in the lab because we hadn't seen that much intrusion with that large and heavy of a vehicle. Ideally, restraint systems work when the occupant compartment is intact. They have to leave you some space for the human to interact with the restraint system. When the car comes back to the human, there isn't enough space to protect them. And what we saw was the compartment closing up, the seat pitching forward. The space for the occupant on the F-150 was severely constrained. And we were surprised because this was one of the most popular vehicles in America. Ford hadn't designed for this test, but when they saw the results, they made a fast-tracked effort to redesign the vehicle, and that vehicle aced the test.